Get me that signal. We need more power.
Welcome to the Voice of E. I am your host, Elliot Miller, and in this edition, I'm looking at the Dark Horse comics for September 2013. Well, the first part, anyway. Baltimore, the Infernal Train, number 1. While Baltimore hides out in Budapest awaiting the arrival of the sadistic Judge Duvik, a strange woman shows up with a bizarre invention she promises will rid the world of a vampire plague. Dark Horse still does vampires right. Haven't read it yet, though. But it's out now. Catalyst Comics number 3. On the road to enlightenment, Frank Wells's mission turns activist. Amazing Grace confronts a mysterious visitor, and over in Agents of Change, a little ultra-violence for all your kids out there. Blast your way into the local comic shop and demand your copy today. It's masterminded by Joe Casey from Sex, The Bounce, and Godland. It's also got a wraparound cover by Brendan McCarthy, The Saucer of Zilk. Artist Dan McDade, Ulysses Farinas, and Paul Mayberry. Michael Avon Oeming's The Victories, number 5. When a new government force is unleashed against the powers, champions and villains alike must band together to beat the threat against them. But can they overcome one of their own? Our heroes must face not only their own demons, no, but the demons of a country as well. The war for the world starts today. Hard-hitting, ongoing superhero adventure. Yes. And here's the big one. The Star Wars, number 1. Before Star Wars, there was The Star Wars. This is the authorized adaptation of George Lucas's rough draft screenplay of what would eventually become a motion picture that would change the world. Yes, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Now, Star Wars. Anakin Starkiller is the hero. Luke Skywalker is a wizened Jedi general. Han Solo is a big green alien. And the Sith? Well, the Sith are still the bad guys. High adventure and daring do from longer ago in a galaxy even further away. It's the official adaptation of George Lucas's original screenplay for Star Wars before they fixed it up and made it good. Kidding, of course. It features regular, variant, and ultra variant covers. And so, now for another mini review of The Star Wars number 1. Spoiler alert. Stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 until you see the picture behind me change if you don't want to know anything. As the story begins, we see Kane Starkiller and his 2 sons Anakin and Deke hiding out on a remote planet away from the prying eyes of the Empire. Kane is one of the few Jedi Bandu left in the galaxy, and he is training his sons to follow in his footsteps. But the Empire finds them, and only 2 of the family make it off the planet alive. We move on to Alderaan, the capital of the Galactic Empire, where the Emperor is delivering a speech. The Empire has waited long enough for the last remaining star system, the Aquilian system, that is free from its control to come to terms with the Empire. The few remaining Jedi are in that system, and the Emperor has decided to attack, to finally bring them to heel. A rebel named Whitson attempts to bring the news to Aquilay to give them warning. And we meet Darth Vader, who looks very Nazi-like in his appearance. The Emperor, by the way, to me looks a lot like Sinestro of Green Lantern fame, but without the goofy costume. Then we move on to Aquilay, where we meet General Luke Skywalker, who is attempting to convince the Council that war with the Empire is unavoidable and imminent. But, of course, they scoff at him. We also meet a beautiful young Leia, off to college on another planet. Bye! And we know that the Empire is on its way. Will the rebels be warned in time? So far, I'm really enjoying the story. It's very interesting to see how the story could have been. You hear names that you've never heard of, and everything is so different, and yet so much the same that I was just drawn into it completely. I consider this one a must-have, and I'm already looking forward to issue 2. Now, moving on to next week, from Dark Horse, Brain Boy #1. When the United States Secret Service needs to stop an assassination before the killers even decided to buy a gun, they call the world's most powerful telepath, Matt Price, a.k.a. Brain Boy. But when the secret agent can read anyone's mind, finds that a powerful psychic network has been hidden from him, Brain Boy begins to wonder whether he knows everything, or nothing at all. Written by New York Times best-selling author Fred Van Lente, from Archer and Armstrong and G.I. Joe, with art by R.B. Silva from Superboy and Jimmy Olsen. Well, it sounded pretty good, so I checked it out. And here's another mini review, but this time without any spoilers. I found Brain Boy to be pretty entertaining. He reminds me a bit of a classic James Bond character, but with psychic powers. Of course, there'd be ways to get around his abilities, otherwise it would get to be a fairly boring comic. We're looking at a jaded young man who has seen what goes on in the heads of people and pretty much thinks he's better than all of them. He's a lonely guy. It's hard to be motivated to date someone when you know everything about them in about an hour. He works for the mysterious Albright Industries, which I'm sure we'll learn more about in the future, and is assigned to guard a Fidel Castro-type guy at the UN. Surprise! Fidel is a big jerk with lots of people want him to be killed. Only Matt Price, Brain Boy, can stop them. The story was entertaining, with some humorous moments inserted, and the artwork fit perfectly. While it may not look like much, Brain Boy was a good read. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 9, number 25. Buffy can't ever just be a slayer, can she? Always the world seems to want more, and as the lives of her loved ones are threatened yet again, Buffy shows why she is the chosen one. Whatever is thrust upon her, she can handle it. Sometimes with a little help from her friends. This is the Season 9 finale. It's all been building up to this one. So, the last in Season 9. Will we see Season 10? Well, I certainly hope so. Then, of course, there's Halo, Initiation number 2. One of the most iconic video game franchises in history comes to Dark Horse. The UNSC Infinity, the UNSC's newest and most sophisticated flagship, proves to be a tempting target for a group of insurgents. It's up to Sarah Palmer and a bunch of rookie Spartans to defend Infinity. But are they up to the task? Featuring the origin of Spartan Sarah Palmer, the Halo franchise has sales eclipsing $3 billion over its lifetime, and now it's going to make more. Then, of course, there's Resident Alien, the Suicide Blonde #1. A straightforward suicide. Or a murder. At first, undercover alien Dr. Harry Benderspiegel thinks the local police have this death solved. And then things get personal when one of his only human friends becomes a suspect. Also, the feds figure out that Harry's hiding in the Pacific Northwest. Another strange standalone murder mystery from a critically acclaimed comics team, from the writers of Tom Strong and the artist of the classic Bo Jeffries saga. Then there is Star Wars number 9, of the classic timeline, on her own, out in the wide galaxy, while her friends struggle to escape the Empire and evade bounty hunters. Princess Leia stares her X-Wing toward the heart of all her grief, a place she longs for, but should probably never revisit, the shattered ruins of her homeworld of Alderaan. It's the homecoming you've waited 36 years to see. Legendary Star Wars cover artist Hugh Fleming returns. Brian Wood continues the best-selling original trilogy tale. Then, of course, there's the True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys #4. Love. It makes people do dangerous things. It's an emotion better suited for the uncivilized class. Wanted fugitives blue and red, porno droids that have disobeyed the strict rules of Battery City in the name of love, make a run toward freedom. Will they make it to the city line before BLI pulls their batteries? In the desert, the girl makes a life-changing discovery and suffers the loss of a dear friend. The party's over, and it's time to fight. It's from Gerard Way, creator of the Umbrella Academy. You know it. And then X, number 5. Disguised as harmless suburbanites, I'm harmless. The Rents are actually psychotic assassins, determined to take their place at the top of Arcadia's food chain. Lay delivers X's traditional warning, but ends up in a construction site firefight with some very unpleasant soccer moms. Featuring guest artist Tony Parker from R.I.P.D. City of the Damned. It's comics' most merciless hero cleaning up the mess he made. Hey, that's it for now. Thanks for joining me for this Dark Horse Comics update. Stay tuned for more comic, gaming, and geek culture news from the Voice of E. I am your host, Elliot Miller, and until next time, keep your mind free.
Get me that 6. We need more power.